in a dignified way, which is so important. They've done so much with the little resources they have. That this building is fit, is going to be fit for the amazing work they've already been doing and the work that they're going to continue to do. So thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, I'll introduce the Mayor of Orange County, Mayor Jerry Demings.
Good morning to all of you. It's another great day here in Orange County, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you to Congressman Maxwell Frost for the work that he's doing in Washington, D.C. on our behalf. He has been delivering for our community in terms of bringing our federal taxpayer dollars back into the community. Not only has he supported this effort, but most recently he supported us. He brought some dollars back to our community that is assisting us with build out at our multicultural center, and then also with one of our utilities projects. So, Congressman, you can come here anytime. You bring in money from Washington, D.C. We do appreciate it. It seems like it was just yesterday we were here for the groundbreaking ceremony. But as this project is now well underway, we look forward to the ribbon cutting in the near future. It's my understanding from the CEO, Mr. Dippy, that we likely will see the ribbon cutting sometime before the end of the year, and so I look forward to that as well. In terms of the work that IDignity does, it is certainly very much needed at the times that we're living in. As you all know, as Americans and even immigrants in this country, you can't really do anything without having government certified identification today. You can't get a job, and if you can't get a job, then you can't support yourself, then you can't support your family. And so it is absolutely critical that these types of services are made available to all Floridians and all those here within the Central Florida area. And so Orange County is proud to support this effort. We were fortunate because of some federal American Rescue Plan Act dollars that we received in the past. Orange County is making an investment through our budget of $2.2 million to help support this project. So it does take a community collaborative to make these type of efforts a success, where the government works with the private sector and the philanthropic sector to make these types of projects a reality. So again, I say congratulations to IDignity, and thank you for the work that you're doing. Charge on, right?
Next up, we'll have our tax collector, Scott Randolph.
Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you. I just want to say how lucky we are to have leaders in this county that care about every single citizen in this county. Thank you, Congressman Frost. Thank you, Mayor Demings, for the leadership that you show this county every single day, that you care not just about the people who have, but the people who have not. And that is so important. We are such a lucky community to have that. And we're such a lucky community to have an organization like IDignity that cares just as much. Michael Dippy and everybody in that staff that cares so much at IDignity, all the volunteers that spend hours and hours. This organization is amazing. If you knew the volunteer list that they have, I was told today it's literally a waiting list. You have to get on a waiting list to volunteer with this organization. That is how strong of a group of people that they have in this organization. And we are lucky to have people like that up and down that care about everybody in this community. Obviously, as tax collector, I run all the DHS&V. I do all the ID stuff for everybody in this county. We see 1 million people a year. We could not do our job. We could not go through that type of volume without people and the organization of IDignity helping the ones that don't have easy access to those documents. We hear a lot in the media today about having an ID to vote, having an ID to do this, and people don't understand oftentimes how difficult that can be for a large segment of our population. Birth certificates are not necessarily easy to come by in a lot of states. Your Social Security isn't easy to come by if you don't have the birth certificate or the ID. And it becomes a very circular process. And that process can take hours and hours to resolve. Something that my office does not have the time when we're seeing 1 million people to be able to do. And that's why our grants, our annual grants to IDignity are, I believe, some of the best monies and funds that we spend every single year. And again, I want to say thank you to Michael Dippy and Ann and all the staff at IDignity for all the work they do. They make our job easier at the tax collectors. And again, thank you, Congressman Frost, for all the leadership you show in caring about this community so much, as well as you too, Mayor Demings. Thank you guys for your commitment to this organization.
Next we'll have Comptroller Phil Diamond.
Good morning, everybody. I'm thrilled to be up here today, not because I get to speak as Orange County Comptroller, but I get to speak as a board member of IDignity. I've been on the board for 7 years, and I've gotten to witness the great work that IDignity has done and does every single day. You know, one of the things I like to tell people when they ask about IDignity is what it's about. Well, it's really a jobs program. Something like 35% of the people we serve have jobs within 30 days after they get their ID card. And they're at work in the community, bettering our community and making our community stronger. And really, that's kind of the ultimate affordability program. I also want to just thank Representative Frost for this work, this appropriation. You know, I remember when he first got elected not that long ago, and as a constituent, I'd been able to watch him work with the community, learn the community, see the community, be the community. And he has made such an effort to be out there. And as a constituent, you know, we tend to get mail from our elected officials. And I'm something of a hoarder, so I've saved this. And one of the things that I noticed as I was looking at this last night is he committed to provide grant opportunities for nonprofits. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here today. He made that commitment, he kept that commitment, and here we are where not only IDignity, but a number of other worthy projects have gotten funding due to his work. And I want to thank him for doing that and for making our community better. I also want to thank the very, very, very wide group of partners that we've had helping IDignity. You know, in addition to Congressman Frost, Mayor Demings, you're responsible for over $2 million of funding for this project. Just looking around the room today, I guess it's a room, no walls yet, but I guess it's a room. But we've got a number of other people from around the community. We've got nonprofits and foundations that have been helpful. We've got the business community, and we have so many individuals that have contributed, families and other organizations around this community. And it's why we're going to come together and have the premier identity service in the country with IDignity. And not only are we going to be serving the Orlando area, but ultimately we're going to be serving statewide. And this is going to be the launching pad for this, to provide these great services statewide. So with that, I'm going to say thank you again to everybody. And Congressman Frost, I will turn it back to you.
Next up from IDignity, we have Ann Taylor.
Good morning, everyone. I do want to thank the elected officials who have supported this effort, especially those who are here today, Congressman Frost, Mayor Demings, Tax Collector Randolph, and Comptroller Diamond. Thank you. We are truly grateful for your leadership, your belief in IDignity, and for this federal investment in our operational headquarters. More than 18 years ago, IDignity began as a conversation in a parish hall. A small group of compassionate, people, including Michael Dippy and myself, and members from our 5 downtown churches, saw neighbors in our community who could not move forward, not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked a work ethic, because they lacked one small essential thing: legal identification. As someone who has walked this journey from the first gathering to this moment today, I'm incredibly moved by what our community has made possible together. What began as a once-a-month event in borrowed space has grown into a coordinated, comprehensive pathway to restored identity. Since that first gathering in May of 2008, we have served more than 36,000 Orange County residents. Yay! We have helped them get their identification so they can fully participate in our society. It's all based on a simple conviction that dignity begins with being seen, known, and called by name. IDignity exists to restore dignity and help by restoring legal identification. We do this through strong partnerships, as Phil mentioned: churches, government agencies, business, and community organizations. It is a beautiful thing watching all of these organizations work together, but the need has continued to grow. For years, we have operated out of temporary rented space, always grateful, but always stretching. For over a decade, we have dreamed of a permanent operational headquarters, a place to call home, to streamline services and to serve more people with efficiency, compassion, and dignity. Today, this federal funding and the leadership behind it, that dream is becoming a reality. It's pretty exciting, y'all. Congressman Frost, Mayor Demings, thank you for your role in securing this funding, for recognizing that something as simple as an ID is foundational to justice and opportunity. Your support affirms that this work is essential and that the people we serve matter. To our community partners, donors, volunteers, and clients, this milestone belongs to you as well. Together, we are building more than a headquarters. We are building a pathway to stability, employment, housing, and hope. And in just a few short months, we look forward to welcoming you back into this new space at our grand opening. This is going to be a place where dignity, IDignity, has a permanent address. Thank you for celebrating with us today.
All right, now we're doing a check process, but I wanted to offer, do you want to say a few words? You good? All right. Let's bring up the check. We're going to take a quick photo. No, in front of the podium.
That's the plan.
We want to open it up for any questions, if there's any questions from the press. Yes. Yeah, it's so important. Unfortunately, we're seeing a push in the United States Congress right now to pass a bill called the SAVE Act, the Save America Act, which would make it increasingly difficult for Americans to vote. It makes it so not even your driver's license will be able to be used to be able to register to vote. And this isn't just an isolated thing we see across the entire nation. that many legislatures, predominantly Republican legislatures, are working at making it more difficult to vote. And my message to everybody out there who thinks your vote doesn't matter, if your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to take it away. And so from this horrible decision we saw from the state having to do with driver's licenses, which I don't know if wants to talk about at all, but making it so you can only do it in English, something that a lot of people don't realize is that process of getting a driver's license is actually the predominant way people register to vote in the state of Florida. So even things like that, I think, are an effort to stifle the ability to vote. And so, look, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, everybody deserves the right to vote in this nation, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have in the bank. We shouldn't be making it harder to vote. We should actually be making it easier for Americans to cast their ballot and participate in this democracy.
And I think it's important that people, as much as that discussion has been had at the federal level, there's legislation at the state level to do the exact same thing. And what I want to say is that it's duplicitous. First of all, it's duplicitous. When you get a real ID, that is the purpose of a real ID. And the Real ID Act was passed 25 years ago, right after 9/11. That requires additional documentation, which is why IDignity exists, by the way, of this difficult documentation of a birth certificate, or if you've gotten married or you've changed your name, that you have to bring that documentation in. When you get a driver's license in Florida, you have gone through that process, and 95% of Floridians are already Real ID compliant. And great organizations like IDignity are there to help people in Florida get there as well. What they are proposing is duplicitous. It makes it more difficult for absolutely zero reason at all.
Hey, my name is Michael Dippy. I'm one of the founders of IDignity. I always try to stay as politically neutral as possible, but I do feel like I need to be the witness to the difficulties of obtaining legal identification. I've always had my identification. I've never had a problem with identification. I never knew anyone in my entire life up to 40 years old that ever had a problem with identification until I started witnessing a few people coming to the church. And it wasn't a lot of people, but there's a few. So they couldn't get a job because they couldn't get ID. And I was like, what do you mean you can't get ID? I've never heard of anyone who can't get ID. And then I tried to go down that trail and trying to help people get ID and found out that it can be really, really hard, especially if you're disenfranchised. If you're suffering from mental illness, physical disabilities, if you're blind, it can be hard to navigate some of these systems. But there's also a lot of people that have bad birth certificates or no birth certificates ever because you're born by a midwife and they never actually filed the document. Or your birth certificate says baby boy or baby girl on it. Well, that's actually your legal name. It doesn't matter what your other documents say the rest of your life. And now you got to go back and get that birth certificate amended often in a court of law, which means now you have to have an attorney that's going to represent you, but you don't have any proper identification, so it's hard to get an attorney to represent you. And it just can just spiral and spiral and spiral. It can be difficult for us. Now imagine that you are living on the streets homeless, which about half of our clients are, to navigate this system as well. So I just wanted to stand up as a witness that, yes, to most people, identification is never an issue, but there are some that cannot get over this burden on their own. We need to have identification must be hard to obtain. We need to maintain the integrity of identification at all costs. But there does need to be an organization like IDignity that will assist those individuals in our community that cannot get over those barriers on their own. That's why we exist. That's why we're building this headquarters, and I just appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Yeah.
I want to ask, we just reported, this is outside of this, but we reported that the makers of the street ball ride that Tyree Sampson died on is going to open the same track in Texas. I want to know if you've had any conversations with the Department of State and Commerce about preventing that from happening.
We haven't yet, but I had an interview and I spoke with Greg about this. It's something we're looking into. Look, any company, whether it's a foreign company or a domestic company, should not be able to continue this as long as there hasn't been accountability for the horrible tragedy that happened here in Central Florida. And this is an example of a foreign company trying to take advantage of our laws. So we will be reaching out to the State Department about it, and we're happy to keep you updated. we're still figuring out our plans for the State of the Union, but we'll make it known to everybody soon. Thank you. And then the state of our union, it's difficult to get IDs for many people, and that's why we're proud to support IDignity. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. God bless. Thank you. Yeah. Hey,
everybody that's here to support IDignity, we're going to grab a big group photo. All right, come on in. Whose mic is this?
Theirs.
Ours? House Computer Service?
No.
Thank you.